There's a demon living inside you. Not the cartoonish red creature with horns, something worse, something human, something familiar. It's the anger you feed, the rage that simmers in your gut when someone disrespects you, the burning in your chest when things don't go your way. It's the part of you that explodes, ruins relationships, makes you weak, and you keep feeding it. But what if I told you there was a way to kill it, to bury it, to walk through fire with calm eyes while everyone else is screaming? Miyamoto Musashi, arguably the most dangerous man to ever walk Japan, did exactly that. He fought over 60 life or death duels and never lost. Not because he was the fastest, not because he was the strongest, because he was emotionless in battle. This is how one warrior killed anger and became a legend. And now you'll learn his way. The question isn't whether you get angry. The question is, will you control it or will it control you?
Chapter 1. The Awakening. The Warrior Consumed by Rage. Edo, Japan. Ryo knelt in the dojo, fists clenched, jaw tight, entire body trembling. He just lost again, third time this week in sparring, and each time the same problem destroyed him: anger. When his opponent landed the first strike, Ryo saw red. His technique disappeared. His strategy vanished. He just swung wildly, trying to hurt, trying to punish, trying to make them pay for daring to hit him. And every time he lost. 22 years old, trained since he was 8, technically skilled, physically capable, but completely dominated by the demon inside him. Ryo's master, Tada-sensei, stood over him, silent, watching with those eyes that saw everything. Stand up? Ryo stood, still shaking with rage. You just lost to someone half your skill level. Why? He got lucky. Lie. Try again. Ryo's fists clenched tighter. His jaw ached from grinding his teeth. He caught me off guard. Another lie. The truth, Ryo, or leave my dojo. Something in Tada-sensei's voice cut through the rage fog. Ryo took a breath, forced honesty. I got angry. Yes, and anger made you what? Weak? Correct. Anger is not strength, Ryo. It's a chain, a leash, a predictable reflex that makes men easy to kill. Tada-sensei walked to the wall, pointed at kanji written there. Fudoshin, the immovable mind. This is what you lack. This is what the greatest warriors mastered. And until you master it, you will keep losing. Not just duels, everything.
Ryo had heard about Fudoshin before. The concept that samurai should remain calm, regardless of circumstances, unmoved by provocation, unshaken by chaos. But he'd never understood how. How do you just stop being angry when someone disrespects you, when they attack you, when they push every button you have? I don't know how to not get angry, Ryo admitted, the words tasting like defeat. Tada-sensei smiled slightly, the first time Ryo had seen that expression in months. Good. Admitting you don't know is the beginning. Come, I'll show you what killed anger in the greatest warrior who ever lived. Chapter 2. The Principle. Anger is a puppet string. Tada-sensei led Ryo to a small meditation room. They sat facing each other. Let me tell you about Miyamoto Musashi, the master began. You've heard the stories. 60 duels, never lost. People think he won because he was faster, stronger, more skilled. Wrong. He won because he was emotionless in battle. While his opponents raged, panicked, or froze with fear, Musashi remained calm, cold, calculating like death itself. Ryo leaned forward. How did he do it? By understanding what anger really is. Marcus Aurelius, a warrior emperor far from Japan, said something Musashi would have agreed with. When you are disturbed by external things, it is not they that trouble you, but your own judgment of them, Read that again in your mind, Tada-sensei said, giving Ryo time to absorb it. If someone can make you angry, they can make you do anything. You're not in control, you're a puppet, and your strings are your emotions. Ryo felt that truth land like a punch. Every time someone insulted him, every time something didn't go his way, he reacted predictably. They controlled him completely. Musashi cut those strings. He trained himself to become immune to provocation. No matter what insult came his way, no matter how brutal the fight, he stayed still, watching, calculating. But how? How do you just not feel anger? You don't stop feeling it. You stop being controlled by it. There's a difference. Tada-sensei stood, paced slowly. Real strength isn't how hard you hit. It's how impossible you are to provoke. A man with no emotional triggers is a man you can't manipulate, threaten, or break. That is real power.
He stopped, looked at Ryo with unusual intensity, as if seeing not just him, but beyond him through time itself. You know, Ryo, this path you're about to walk, learning to kill anger, to master the immovable mind, it's not just yours. Throughout history, warriors have faced this demon, the rage that destroys from within. Tada-sensei's voice took on a quality that made Ryo feel the words were meant for more than just this room. In times you cannot imagine, in places far from this dojo, men will face the same battle you face now, the demon of anger consuming them, making them weak when they need to be strong. And they'll discover what you're discovering, that killing anger is the first step to becoming truly dangerous. Not dangerous because you're violent, dangerous because you're unshakable. He placed his hand on Ryo's shoulder. If you feel called to this discipline, if you recognize this demon inside you, know that you walk this path with warriors across all time. The ancient practices, the warrior psychology, the path to becoming immovable. Tada-sensei's gaze seemed to pierce through Ryo to something beyond. Subscribe to this training. Walk with those who've chosen to kill the demon. Because this isn't just ancient history locked away. This is living practice. The dojo of the immovable mind is always open, and the warriors who train there become unstoppable. He smiled slightly, not through violence, through unshakable calm. Ryo bowed, not fully understanding why the master's words felt like they were reaching beyond this moment, beyond this conversation. But he felt something shift, a commitment not just to his own training, but to joining something larger. Tada-sensei returned to his normal tone. Good. Now let's begin killing your demon.
Chapter 3. The Test. Training the Void. The first thing you need to understand, Tada-sensei said, is why you get angry. Be honest. Why? Ryo thought about it. When someone disrespects me, why does that make you angry? Because I deserve respect. There it is. Entitlement. You think the world owes you something. You think people should behave the way you want. You think life should be fair. Tada-sensei's voice was sharp. Musashi would say, you are attached, and attachment is the root of suffering. He trained himself to expect nothing from the world. He walked alone, slept in dirt, trained not just his body but his soul to be untouchable. No comfort, no luxury, no illusion of control. And because of that, no one could anger him. Over the next weeks, Tada-sensei put Ryo through what he called training the void. Week 1, voluntary hardship. You will sleep outside for 7 nights. No blanket despite the cold. Eat only rice. Train twice as long as usual. Ryo struggled intensely, but on the 3rd night, something shifted. He realized most of his anger was just entitlement in disguise. He got angry when things weren't comfortable. By choosing discomfort voluntarily, he was killing that entitlement at the root. Week 2, no reaction training. Tada-sensei brought in other students to provoke Ryo deliberately. Insults, mockery, disrespect. Your job, the master said, is to not react. Just watch them. Observe. Stay silent. The first day, Ryo lasted maybe seconds before snapping. But slowly, over days, he learned that when you don't react, the power shifts instantly. The person trying to provoke you loses their leverage. Week 3, death meditation. Every morning, visualize your own death. Accept it. Make death your companion. Why? Ryo asked. Because a man who isn't afraid to die can't be rattled by anything less. What's a rude comment compared to the void? Ryo practiced this every dawn. After weeks, death became neutral, inevitable, and suddenly everything else, the insults, the disrespect, seemed ridiculously small. By the end of 12 weeks, he faced the same opponent who'd beaten him. This time, when the opponent landed the first strike, Ryo felt the old anger try to rise, but he observed it like a cloud passing. He moved like water. He won in under 2 minutes. After the match, Tada-sensei approached. You felt the anger? Yes, but you didn't obey it. No. That's the difference. Well done, Ryo.
Chapter 4, Warrior Psychology, the Science of the Blade. That evening, Tada-sensei gathered all students. Tonight, I'll explain the psychology of the blade, why anger makes you weak, and why emotional control makes you deadly. The neuroscience of anger. Your brain has 2 primary systems. The amygdala, the ancient primitive part that produces rage, and the prefrontal cortex, the part that allows strategy. When you get angry, the amygdala hijacks your brain. You literally become stupider. This is why Musashi won. While his opponent's amygdalas were screaming, his prefrontal cortex stayed in control. He saw opportunities they couldn't see. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Anger is always a choice. Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, do nothing which is of no use. Anger is almost always useless. The mind is like a blade. When you let it rust with emotion, it dulls. But when you keep it still, sharp, silent, it cuts through anything. The kill ego practice. At its core, anger is ego wearing a mask. You don't get angry because the world is cruel. You get angry because your image is under attack. Musashi's solution? Kill the ego. Burn it. Starve it. He didn't care if people liked him. He understood the more you crave recognition, the easier it is to control you. A man with nothing to prove is a man no one can provoke. Kill the ego, and anger dies with it.
Chapter 5, The First Transformation. The Jewel Without Rage. 6 months into training, a wandering ronin named Katsu arrived. He had a reputation for skill and a vicious temper. He challenged the dojo. Tada-sensei chose Ryo. Ryo felt his old instincts try to activate fear, but he remembered his training, breathed, centered, found stillness. The next morning, students gathered. Katsu arrived with theatrical swagger, spinning his katana. "Is this the best you have?" he mocked. "A boy?" The old Ryo would have exploded. The new Ryo just watched, observed, calculated. They bowed. Katsu attacked first, aggressive, fast, trying to overwhelm. Ryo moved like water, redirected, never where Katsu expected. Katsu grew frustrated. "Fight me, coward." Ryo remained silent. Katsu, angry at Ryo's lack of reaction, overcommitted to a strike, left himself exposed for half a second. Ryo's bokken touched Katsu's throat. Light, controlled victory. The crowd was silent, then erupted in approval. Katsu stood there shocked. He'd been beaten not by superior technique, but by emotional control.
Ryo had stayed calm while Katsu's rage made him sloppy. "How did you do that?" Katsu asked. "I felt anger try to rise, but I chose not to obey it." Katsu looked at him. "Teach me." That evening, Tada-sensei congratulated Ryo. "You've achieved the first level of Fudoshin, not elimination of emotion, but mastery over it. This is what makes a warrior dangerous."
Chapter 6, Deep Training Arc, The Mountain of Stillness. Ryo, you will spend 3 months at the Mountain Temple. The monks there will teach you how to maintain Fudoshin in every moment. Days later, Ryo climbed to Reigen Temple. The headmaster Hakuin greeted him. "You've learned to control anger in the dojo. Now you'll learn to kill it at the root." The routine was extreme. 3 a.m. wake-up, cold water, hours of sitting meditation, physical labor, silence. The first week was hell. Sitting for hours with nothing to do but watch his own mind was torture. But Master Hakuin explained, this is where anger actually lives, in your mind's inability to be still. Zazen teaches your mind to be like a still pond. When the pond is calm, you can see clearly to the bottom. By week 3, something remarkable happened. Ryo's mind completely quieted. No thoughts, no anger, just presence. He understood what the masters meant by Fudoshin. It wasn't about controlling anger. It was about becoming so still internally that anger couldn't even arise. Master Hakuin noticed the change. "You touched it. Good. That's the target. Now spend the rest of your life learning to access that stillness in every moment. In battle, in peace, in chaos, in calm."
In month 2, Master Hakuin introduced voluntary provocation. Monks would deliberately try to anger Ryo, ruin his work, insult him. At first, Ryo failed, but slowly he started observing the provocations like he was watching someone else's life, detached. By month 3, monks couldn't provoke him. Then came the death koan. If you are already dead, what can anger you? Ryo sat with this for days, and then he understood. If you truly accept death, everything else becomes irrelevant. During this meditation, Ryo felt something arise, something that seemed to speak across time. "You who walk this path, you don't walk alone." The thought continued, this training isn't locked in ancient temples. It lives wherever warriors choose to practice it. Right now, in your time, others are discovering what you've discovered, the demon of anger and the path to killing it. And they'll need guidance. That's what the Scroll Tales channel provides. Every week, the ancient warrior psychology meets modern application. The dojo of the Immovable Mind opens. Ryo felt a pull not to abandon his current practice, but to understand it as part of something larger. Subscribe to the training not as entertainment, but as discipline. Walk with warriors you may never meet, but who fight the same internal battle. The insight passed like a cloud. Ryo opened his eyes, feeling more committed than ever.
Chapter 7, The Final Confrontation. When everything falls apart, Ryo returned from the mountain transformed, or so he thought. Then life tested everything he'd learned. 1 week after returning, word came. His younger brother, Kenji, had been killed, murdered by bandits in a drunken dispute over nothing, beaten to death, unarmed, left in the street. Ryo felt something he hadn't felt in months, pure volcanic rage. Every fiber of his being screamed for revenge. His hands shook, his vision narrowed. The demon he thought he'd killed roared back to life. He went immediately to Tada-sensei. "Master, I need to kill them, all of them." Tada-sensei looked at him. "No, you don't." "They murdered my brother," Yes. And if you go now, filled with rage, you'll either die or become exactly what you hate. The demon will win. Everything you've learned will be meaningless. So I do nothing? Ryo's voice was harsh, desperate. I didn't say that. I said don't go now, not like this. Tada-sensei stood. Fudoshin. This is your real test, Ryo. Not anger in duels, but anger from genuine tragedy. If you can find stillness even now, you'll have mastered what Musashi mastered.
How? He asked, voice breaking. How do I stay calm when everything inside me wants violence? You don't stay calm. You feel everything. The rage, the pain, the loss, but you don't obey it. You sit with it. You breathe with it. You let it wash through you without acting from it. For 1 week, you will do nothing but meditate. Then, if you still choose action, you'll act from stillness, not rage. That week was the hardest of Ryo's life. He sat in meditation and grief and rage overwhelmed him. He wanted to run, to just do something, but he stayed. He breathed, and slowly, over days, something shifted. The rage remained, but it stopped controlling him. By day 7, Ryo understood. His brother was dead regardless of what he did. Revenge wouldn't bring Kenji back, it would just create more death. He went to Tada-sensei. I'm not going after them. Why? Because I won't let them destroy me too. Kenji is gone. If I go after them from rage, I'd become what they are. The demon wins. My brother wouldn't want that. Tada-sensei nodded slowly. This is mastery, not avoiding the emotion, feeling it fully and choosing wisely. Musashi faced this same choice, and each time he chose stillness over rage because he understood. Revenge from anger is ego. Justice from stillness is honor. Ryo bowed. He felt different. Sadder, but not broken. The demon had tried its final attack, and for the first time, Ryo had won completely. Final reveal: the warrior truth. Years later, Ryo sat in the same dojo, but now he sat as a teacher. A young warrior knelt before him, hot-headed, quick to anger, exactly like Ryo had once been. Master Ryo, how did you become so calm? Everyone says nothing angers you. Ryo smiled slightly. That's not true. I feel anger. I just don't obey it anymore. How? By understanding what Musashi understood. Anger is a puppet string, and the moment you realize someone is pulling your strings, you can choose to cut them. He stood, walked to the kanji on the wall. Real strength isn't how hard you hit, it's how impossible you are to provoke. A man with no emotional triggers is a man you can't manipulate, threaten, or break. The young warrior looked skeptical. But doesn't anger give you strength? No, it makes you fight stupider. Anger feels powerful, but it's actually control being taken from you. Here's the truth no one tells you. You get angry because you think you're entitled to control things. You think the world owes you respect, but Musashi trained himself to expect nothing. And because he expected nothing, no one could disappoint him. Kill entitlement, kill ego. What's left is Fudoshin, the immovable mind. The young warrior absorbed this. Where do I start? Ryo smiled. You've already started by asking. Ryo led the young warrior to the training ground. What you're about to learn isn't just for you. Throughout history, warriors have fought this same battle, not with swords, but with the demon of anger that destroys from within. He gestured at the students. Every person here came consumed by rage, and they discovered what Musashi knew, what the Stoics knew. The quieter you are, the deadlier you become. Ryo looked directly at the young warrior, but his words seemed to carry beyond this moment to anyone who would ever face this challenge. This training continues today. At Scroll Tales, we keep this discipline alive. Every week, ancient warrior psychology meets modern life. If you feel the demon of anger controlling you, join us. Subscribe to Scroll Tales. Train with warriors across time who've chosen stillness over rage. You don't walk this path alone. The dojo is filled with the spirits of every warrior who killed their demon. Musashi walks with you, the Stoics walk with you, and we walk with you too. Subscribe to the training, practice with purpose, and remember, the warrior with no anger left to provoke is the one you should fear most. The young warrior took the bokken, bowed deeply. I'm ready, master. Good. Then let's begin. Ryo thought of his masters, of his brother. The demon tried to live in everyone, but only those who recognized it could kill it. And those who killed it became truly dangerous, not through violence, but through unshakable calm. The warrior's way, anger is a puppet string, and you're the toy. Cut the strings, kill the demon. Master yourself. Become immovable.